this together. So what I have laid out for our time is I have a yoga bolster and I have a nice soft blanket. We're going to start by positioning ourselves with the blanket first, and then if you have a bolster, great. If you don't have a bolster, you can just use a big sofa cushion. It'll work just as well. All right, so setting yourself up a space. And what we're going to do with this blanket that's folded, I have a great big rectangle here. I'm going to scoot my hips right on top of that big rectangle and then ease my way down onto my back, relaxing my feet down onto the floor and my head down onto the floor. So if you've made it this far, that's as hard as it gets. You're doing great. This is all about finding really comfortable positions to help us to relax, let go of stress, take care of our bodies, breathe deeply. Yeah, and it's a beautiful, simple way to help ourselves out, especially at the end of the day, so that after you go through a few little positions in restorative style of yoga, it sets you up for a really restful night's sleep. All right, so I have my hips resting on this blanket. If you need a blanket, a soft blanket underneath the back of your head, that's totally fine. And I'll probably transition this in the next position to underneath my head coming up, all right? And my feet are hip width apart. I'm just gonna let my knees rest together so I don't have to hold my legs in place. And then finding a comfortable position for your arms, wherever that might be. So you can send them off to the side, maybe palms facing up, or you can place one or two on the belly if that feels better. You can change them at any time. And so one of the great purposes in restorative style of yoga is you develop that listening sense to your body. There's not a lot of movement. There's a lot of noticing how you feel as you get still. So at any time, know that you have the freedom to change and reposition. Find something that feels a little bit better to your body. So you don't have to match exactly what I'm doing. I'm just giving you suggestions as we go. So make it your own. Find your own style. All right. So if you are comfortable here, go ahead and spend some time closing your eyes. If you have an eye pillow, certainly take advantage of that. We're going to start to listen to the body, let things drop into the floor, and slow down the breath gradually and comfortably. So when I'm in my first position like this, I really try to notice the floor beneath me and almost imagine it like hands supporting you. So that with each exhale that you make, you're just dropping into those hands of support. Each cycle of breath, giving yourself a little more time, a little more space to fill up and then to empty everything out. just passed. Again, breathing in fresh. And letting go of the past. Two more deep breaths like that, all the way in. And all the way out. Once more, deep inhale. And deep exhale. Good. You can keep the eyes closed if you like. We're going to let those knees drift slightly apart. So now your knees are in line with your hips and your feet. We're going to slowly start to drift the knees a little bit over to one side. And gently back up through center. And slowly drifting the knees off to the other side. And back up through center. So just a few repetitions of this soft sway side to side. Notice how your back feels. Relax your hips. Relax that entire lower spine and all the tissues around it. Once more, each side, deep breaths as you go. And then softly making your way towards center again with those knees. Good. We're going to float one knee towards the chest and reaching with your hands, either resting the hands on top of the knee and the lower leg, or sending those hands behind the thigh, whichever feels more comfortable. Just giving it a hug. Maybe a little sway side to side here, nice and slow and easy. Letting that lower back round into the blanket beneath. Releasing the hands from their hold and coasting that first foot down to the floor. Same thing on the other side. Knee floating towards the chest. Give that leg a little hug. Nice and comfortable. Nothing aggressive, nothing forced. And then if you want to add a little sway, you can do that as well. Deep breath. And then floating that second foot right down to the floor. Good. Relaxing the arms back down by your sides. You're still floating on top of this blanket beneath your hips. Now, one at a time, extending the legs out long. Stretching gently out on your space, and you can leave the arms there or reaching both arms up overhead. Nice long body stretch here, just opening the whole body and melting it into the floor. Let's take 3 deep breaths right here. All the way in. And slowly release it. time. Breathe in. And breathe out. Nice. Gently bring the arms back down towards the middle of the body. And bending one knee at a time. Placing one foot at a time back on the floor. Nice. We're going to slowly roll onto one side. Using the top hand to press us up into a sitting posture. We're going to change the position of that blanket, and we're going to bring in that yoga bolster if you have one, or a sofa cushion if you do. So I'm going to have our blanket now this time folded into a higher square shape at the top end of that bolster or sofa cushion. I'm going to have my hips resting down on the floor in front of the far end. And then taking your time here, we're going to just have a little bit of a rock side to side. Lengthening that lower back across the end of the bolster or the sofa cushion, and then releasing the back down. Repositioning that blanket underneath the head and finding a nice comfortable place here. So my legs are crossed at the ankles. If that doesn't feel good to you, just keep the feet flat on the floor or extend the legs out long in front of you. Anything that feels comfortable and makes you feel like you can breathe and relax there. Nice open position of the chest here. So this is one of my favorite positions because we get this wonderful opening of the front of our body, and we spend a lot of our day working with our hands in front of us, maybe our heads forward, our shoulders rounded, and this takes our bodies in that opposite direction and allows the tissues in the back of our body to recover and relax. So we're going to hang out right here and return to those nice, slow, deep breaths. Now, instead of the floor as our foundation, imagining that they are actual hands that we're sinking down into. Now the bolster and the blanket are behind us. We can envision that same useful picture. We have hands to rest into, to support us and to provide us with rest. So let's take a nice, easy breath in. And a slow, comfortable breath out. Again, take your time breathing in. And take your time breathing out. If you feel a specific area of your body that you want to focus on, for me right now, it's my shoulders. So as I breathe in, I'm just noticing that part. And as I breathe out, I'm focusing on just letting them go. Again, breathe in, notice that part. And breathe out, relax and let it go. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And in. And out. In. Out. In. Out. In. And out. Good. Let's gently bring our hands over the belly area and then begin to coast the arms back overhead. Just finding a little stretch for the shoulders here. You can let the hands hang behind the head. Maybe interlace the fingers for a little support. And just relax here, slowly letting gravity give you a nice opening stretch. If the elbows want to open a little out to the side, totally fine. Just see where things begin to fall. If it's uncomfortable at all, just bring the hands right back towards the belly. Amazing what can happen just by relaxing, slowing down, breathing. And then release your hands, slowly wrap the arms around to the sides. Maybe pausing here with your elbows resting out to the side, palms facing up. Nice open chest, open shoulder. 2 more deep breaths here. And then returning the arms down, a little lower towards your hips. If your knees have been in an open position, gently drawing the knees into neutral, in line with the hips, feet flat on the floor. Good. Let's return to rocking the knees softly a little bit side to side, keeping the hips relaxed, lower back easy. Out of this really softly, rolling again over towards one side. You've got the arms to gently press your way right back up to sitting. Good. We're going to turn and now face the bolster or the sofa cushion that you have already on the floor. We're going to come to a supported child's pose. So knees straddling that yoga bolster or yoga cushion. And then the blanket, maybe unfolding it a little bit higher up towards the middle of that bolster. So if this is not comfortable for you at your knees or your back or your ankles, I want you to go ahead and look at the alternative, flattening out your blanket and going prone, so on your belly on top of that bolster or sofa cushioning and resting forward right here. Maybe another blanket underneath the head to get your head up off the floor a little bit higher up. All right? So remember that alternative. If child's pose isn't comfortable, go straight to that one. Okay? All right, so if child's pose is agreeable to you, coming right down on top of that blanket. One hand on either side of the bolster, resting the forearms down on the floor. Taking your time here and readjusting. Good. So now the support surface that we're working with is in front of our bodies. So those supportive hands that we've been imagining throughout are now collecting us from the front of our bodies. Same thing happening with our breath. Breathing in. And as we breathe out, just melt down into that support. Notice the areas of your body that need a little bit of help relaxing here. Using the breath, especially the exhale side, to loosen it and relax. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Breathe in. And take your time breathing out. Let your rib cage open with the inhale. And then relax together with the exhale. Two more like this. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. And out. Good. We're going to gently turn our heads softly over to the other side so that our upper spine gets the same treatment to each direction. Relaxing in right here. melting down into the bolster with each exhale. Few more cycles here. All the way in. And then a nice slow exhale. Take your time. Breathe in. And out. Two more times. Deep inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Good. Coming out of this, staying as relaxed as possible, drawing your hands a little closer underneath the chest, keeping the neck relaxed. Just let the head drop forward as you press your way up, and maybe take a moment just to sway a little bit side to side, supporting yourself through the palms of your hands, lengthening out the back of the neck here. And then maybe turning the head slightly side to side. Good. Continuing softly to press your way up to sitting. And now we'll change the position of the blanket and the bolster once more and go towards a traditional Shavasana position. So I'm going to unfold the blanket and put it where my head's going to go. And I'm going to slide the bolster, this time sideways, down where my knees will rest over the bolster. So positioning my hips this side of it. And then supporting yourself as you roll back onto your back, finding a comfortable place for the back of your head. Settling in here. Maybe starting with your hands right over the belly. And we'll return to the deep breathing, really noticing that rise that comes at the belly as you breathe way down deep. Slowly exhale and the belly sinks back into place. Easy shoulders. Deep inhale. And a long exhale. Inhale. And exhale. breath pattern is not the same as mine. It's totally okay. Deep in and out. Breathing in, noticing your body. And breathing out, sinking down into the support. And if you want to change your arm position, maybe sending the arms out to the sides now, palms facing up. Making any little adjustments with your legs, your head, your hips, your shoulders. And relax. Following each breath as it comes. Notice all the sensations. Notice your body naturally moving with your breath. Stay right where you are. I'm going to begin to come out of this really slowly by coasting 1 foot at a time on top of the bolster or the sofa cushion. And then I'm going to gently rock my knees in that same little side to side motion, really small and gentle. softly roll my way over to one side and use my hands to help press myself up to sitting. So keeping my body as relaxed and as loose as possible. Whenever you're ready to come out, try to follow that same sequence and just keep everything loose and open. All right. Thanks so much for joining. I hope that felt great. And you can stay right where you are and enjoy that position. And I hope you have a really great sleep. Peace.